Hey, Jeff. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. Hope you're doing well.
Good.
Um, First question will come from Justin Guerrero. Go ahead, Justin.
Jeff, appreciate your time. I'm just wondering, how does a stretch of adversity like this that you guys are going through at the moment, how does that test the leadership of your group, and just how have guys responded of late in terms of maintaining morale and just staying the course through this little stretch?
Yeah. Uh, it's difficult, but you understand, excuse me, um, the season's really long and you go through different types of things during a season. I've always felt that if used properly, this could be a time where you learn so much about yourself and you become tougher and stronger. At least that's been our experience the past couple of years. You find out the true character of your team. Um, I think this team has solid character. Um, I think we have good leadership. Certainly, it's tested right now. They have continued to show up with a good attitude. Certainly, we're down, but this is something that we have to fix and that we feel is fixable, but we have to do it. We have to understand, uh, recognize the things that we have to do, and then we have to be willing to go out and do those things consistently and get better. And so, obviously, this is hard. It's tough. The past 2 weeks have been extremely difficult, but we're excited about the challenge that we have ahead of getting this thing fixed.
David Teal.
Jeff, if I could go just a little off topic, when you were at VCU, you competed against Tony Shaver, and William and Mary is welcoming him back after kind of a 6 year out in the wilderness type of thing. Just wondered about your impressions of him as a coach and a competitor.
Yeah. Well, Coach Shaver was a really, really good coach. When he got to William and Mary, their program was a little bit down, and he instantly came in and gave them structure. Um, they were really good offensively and defensively. He himself is a really competitive and tough guy, and so that showed in his teams how they played, how together they were. Um, I thought he was an outstanding coach, and I thought he did a really, really good job there. And probably just as important, actually more important, he's a really, really good man. And so they had all of those things in a leadership position there. And I think that's why you saw, their program be consistently good during his time there.
Yeah. And you mentioned that your team needs to be willing to do the things necessary to fix this. What in your mind are the primary things that it needs to do?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we have to defend better for two halves. We have to be able to get stops down the stretch. We have to get 50-50 balls. We have to do a better job of executing offensively and understanding that when there are guys in the gap, we have to get off the ball. It's interesting. I was listening to Coach Shrewsbury as I was waiting to get on, and some of the things that he said is exactly of what we're dealing with as well. Um, so it's those things. I mean, they're fixable things, but we have to be able to see and realize, David, we can't get down and have these lulls and then fight back. Like we fought back in all the games, but we have these stretches where we're not getting stops and we're not scoring, and it instead of it lasting for a couple of minutes, it lasts for 3 minutes, for 4 minutes, and all of a sudden we're down 16 or we're down 15. Then we fight and we get it back, but you know those are the things that we have to do and control and be better. So putting together 40 minutes and having the discipline to do that on both ends and understanding what it is we're trying to do and being able to go out and do it.
Stephen Thompson. Go ahead.
Hey Jeff, Jalen's had a few games where his turnovers are maybe higher than what he had been, or what his averages have been for the first part of the season. What do you think has been behind that, and what's he got to do to clean that up?
I think there's more tension on him defensively because of what he did early in the season. Also, because he's a really good player and he has the ball a lot. Um, he has to be able to continue to read when the second defender is there and get off the basketball, pass it. At times, I think, especially when we're down, we have some guys, and it comes from a great place where I have to make something happen, where the best way to make something happen at times is just a simple play, is just getting off the basketball and allowing something to happen instead of trying to make something to happen.
Dominic Campbell, go ahead.
Coach, you started Damian against Florida State and went back with Guillermo for Clemson. What is your for your starting lineup? Is this more of a game by game basis? You're looking at the opponent you're facing, or is it more dealing with Dame and him coming back from his injury, maybe not being 100%
Yeah,
yet?
that probably will be going forward a game by game thing. Clemson's very big, 7 foot, 6'8", and 6'10". And so we felt like having Guillermo in there, we felt like at the beginning it would give us better matchups. So that's why we did it for that game.
Chris Carter, go ahead.
Good morning, Jeff.
Morning.
Wanted to ask you, one thing you talked about in the game when you guys pulled Corin, it was part of the adjustments you guys had to make matchup wise to get to engineer the comeback that you guys did. Are there things that you guys can do schematic wise or coaching wise to kind of make it so that he can be a more central part of what gets you guys back in games along with Jaylen and Ish at the same time? It feels like oftentimes Cam is playing very well while the guards are struggling, and then they kind of bounce back, but then he's not as much as part of that. Is there more of a balancing that can happen there as far as making everyone work in concert, or is this just kind of like a, hey, guys are working out chemistry things right now?
Well, I don't think it's anything chemistry wise. I don't think it's anything there. Um, in that game, in that particular game, the Clemson game, we were down 14, 15 points. And we didn't have great spacing. And so one of the reasons we went with Guillermo at the 5 was his ability to shoot the 3. We thought that opened the court up more and gave us better spacing to allow us to maybe get downhill a little bit more. Their threat and with the way they were guarding the ball screens, they were in drop with the big kid, with Victor. And so we just felt like it would open it up for us a little bit more. We had a run, and we just stuck with that lineup because we had a run. That's the way that I coach. It's not, anything chemistry-wise. I think our guys have good chemistry together. It was just we had a group that got on a run that was playing really well together on both sides of the ball, and we wanted to stick with that group. Cam came back in and played and did some good things. There were some opportunities where we could have gotten him the basketball where we didn't. That's where we have to be better of understanding what it is we're looking to do and being able to execute it.
And then if I can follow up, I just wanted to also ask Jeff, earlier in the season, you talked about you don't award BS minutes. You don't give minutes to guys, when they're not practicing at the level that you need. Is that something that you're still having to consider at this point? Or do you feel a lot of those guys that were maybe having those problems in practice early in the season aren't having those problems as much now? And you can now just focus on, hey, let's just get in there. Who's the best option each game?
Yeah, I mean, the objective is trying to win games. And so looking at matchups, we certainly look at practice and try to see those things like that. Who's playing well, who understands what it is we're trying to do schematically on both sides of the floor, practice walkthroughs, all of those things. But also when you get in the game, you have to be able to make plays and execute. You can't come in the game and give up 6 points right away. Not block out, get a rebound. Where we get a rebound and then we have a good defensive possession, but off the ball, you foul. Like it's all of those things that go into it. I have confidence in our guys, everyone 1 through 12. Again, our guys have great attitudes. They've shown up to practice and trying to get better. So it's not anything where there's a bad attitude. We collectively as a group, and it starts with me, we have to be better in every area. And we're going to work our butts off to try to make that happen.
Jeff, thank you. Appreciate the time.
All right. Take care.